I swear nothing reveals the true spirit of American optimism like watching someone swipe a credit card as if it's a magic wand that turns consequences into rumors. One minute they're buying a $700 blender because smoothies are an investment, and the next they're shocked that interest rates don't care about their vision board. It's a financial survival ritual built entirely on hope, denial, and the vague belief that future me will somehow figure this out. And if you think that's the peak of chaos, trust me, you haven't even seen the warm-up acts yet. 1. Let's start with the man who treated his credit card like a magical portal to financial freedom. Specifically, freedom from the consequences. He strutted into Best Buy and bought 3 gigantic TVS, 2 gaming consoles, a sound system that could double as a NASA launch monitor, and a handful of accessories he clearly didn't need but emotionally justified. Then, with the confidence of a man who's never read a contract, he called the bank to report the entire purchase as fraud. According to him, the thief not only had his exact same taste in electronics, but also politely shipped everything directly to his address. When told the signature on the receipt was his own, he said maybe the thief copied his handwriting. Yes, because criminals always master calligraphy before committing crimes. In the end, the only thing he successfully stole was his own credit score. 2. Then there was the woman who believed credit cards worked on vibes rather than math. She maxed out 5 different cards buying luxury candles, throw blankets, and enough designer skincare to moisturize a small nation. When the bills arrived, she called customer support furious, not because of the charges, but because she didn't think she was supposed to pay them all at once. She insisted the credit limit was more of a suggestion, and that paying the minimum balance meant the rest kind of disappears eventually. When the rep explained interest, she gasped like she was learning about taxes for the first time. She then tried to dispute her own purchases, claiming the store pressured her spiritually. In the end, her financial strategy was the adult equivalent of hiding under a blanket and hoping the monster goes away. Spoiler, the monster was debt, and it stayed. 3. One gentleman, using the term generously, decided to test the limits of reward points by buying 48,000 packs of gum. Why? Because the card offered 5 times points on convenience store purchases, and he interpreted that as a personal challenge. His garage became a chewy monument to poor decision-making. When the bank flagged his activity as suspicious, he insisted it was all part of a business plan, though he couldn't explain what business model involves hoarding enough gum to mummify a minivan. The bank explained that abuse of promotional offers can get an account shut down. He responded by threatening to return all the gum, as if the poor cashier was prepared to process a 48,000-item refund. His genius scheme ended with a closed account and a lifetime supply of minty regret. 4. Another legend believed credit card debt could be negotiated the same way you negotiate with your toddler, by simply saying no firmly and repeatedly. When the bank called about his overdue balance, he told them he wasn't emotionally prepared to acknowledge the charges and would prefer to manifest a lower number. He then argued the interest rate was unfair because he hadn't used the interest personally. When the rep reminded him that's not how anything works, he demanded to speak to someone higher in the spiritual chain of command. His final offer was to pay $17 on a $6,000 bill as a gesture of good faith. The bank declined because they operate on math, not vibes. He walked away declaring the system broken, and the system walked away declaring him broke. 5. A man in Ohio once tried to claim his dog was responsible for his excessive spending. According to him, his golden retriever had jumped on his phone, opened the shopping app, filled a cart with $900 worth of jerky treats, and checked out using his saved credit card. The only problem with this brilliant tale, the treats were all human snacks, including 3 boxes of protein bars and a fondue set. When the bank asked if the dog also typed in the correct security code, he said, well, he's very smart. Forensic review of the purchase showed 6 different browsing sessions, 2 wish lists, and coupon application. Either the dog was Einstein with paws, or someone wasn't ready to admit they have a midnight snacking problem. The dispute was denied within 5 seconds. 6. One woman called her credit card company in full meltdown mode because she believed someone was manipulating her account. The suspicious activity? A $3.49 charge from a streaming service she had subscribed to for 3 years. She insisted someone stole her identity to watch documentaries about hedgehogs. The rep gently informed her it was a recurring subscription she had approved. She refused to believe it, accusing the bank, the streaming service, and possibly the hedgehogs of conspiring against her. After 40 minutes of escalating debate, she gasped loudly, realizing she had subscribed during a wine-fueled movie night. Her immediate response wasn't embarrassment. It was demanding to know why the service didn't remind her monthly that she was still paying for it. The rep reminded her that it literally does, every month, on her statement. 7. A man once maxed out his card on a get-rich-quick trading course that promised a 400% return in 3 days. Shockingly, it didn't work. So, he called the bank, raging that the card should block obviously bad decisions. He argued that if the bank really cared about him, it would have stepped in the moment he tried to buy something so stupid. He treated the credit card as if it were a parental figure obligated to stop him from touching the stove. When the rep told him adults are responsible for their purchases, he got offended, deeply, claiming emotional harm. He even asked if he could sue the bank for allowing financial self-destruction. They politely declined. He hung up, declaring he would start a class action lawsuit. He did not, because filing lawsuits costs money. 8. One woman disputed a charge from a psychic hotline because the psychic didn't warn me I'd regret this purchase. She argued that if the psychic were truly gifted, they would have known she was about to call and should have warned her not to. When the bank explained that psychic accuracy isn't a basis for a refund, she countered that it should be because it's literally their job to know things. She even demanded the bank reimburse her for emotional disappointment, since the psychic predicted she'd become rich by the end of the week. Spoiler, she did not. The bank denied the claim and suggested perhaps future financial decisions should rely on budgets rather than clairvoyance. She responded by saying, "You'll regret this," which was unintentionally the most psychic thing she'd said all day. 9. One man called to dispute a $1,200 charge from a fancy steakhouse, claiming he did not authorize such extravagant spending. Unfortunately for him, he had posted the entire dinner on Instagram, including a boomerang of him clinking a champagne glass with the caption, "Treating myself because I deserve it." When the bank brought this up, he said the post was metaphorical. They then pointed out his own face was in the photo, holding the credit card. His response? Deepfakes are very convincing these days. The bank concluded that until deepfakes can replicate chewing, swallowing, and signing a bill, he was indeed the proud owner of that $1,200 meal. He ended the call saying he'd never return to that restaurant. The restaurant did not notice. 10. A college student once tried to use his student ID as proof that he shouldn't have to pay his credit card bill. His reasoning? I'm learning, therefore I shouldn't be punished for mistakes. He argued that charging late fees to a student was unethical because students are already under stress. When the rep asked him why he applied for a credit card if he didn't want responsibility, he explained that he needed financial freedom to focus on studying. The screenshot of 86 food delivery charges in 1 month suggested otherwise. When the bank refused to cancel the debt, he said he'd drop out because society clearly doesn't support education. The bank assured him society supports education. It just doesn't support unpaid debt for 27 sushi orders a week. 11. A woman once tried to return a cruise vacation she purchased on her credit card because the weather wasn't as tropical as the brochure. When the cruise line refused, because they are famously not in charge of clouds, she disputed the charge with her bank. She insisted the cruise misrepresented the Caribbean by implying sunshine was guaranteed. She claimed emotional distress from having to wear a light sweater on deck. The bank asked if she enjoyed any part of the trip. She admitted she ate at the buffet 12 times, saw 3 shows, and bought souvenirs. When told that means she used the service, she argued she only did those things to cope with the trauma. The dispute was denied, but at least she left with 5 t-shirts and a powerful hatred of mild weather. 12. A man once booked a luxury hotel using his credit card reward points, then disputed the charge because the experience didn't feel luxurious enough. His complaints included, the lobby smelled too clean, the The towels were too fluffy, and the mattress was too comfortable, making him sleep later than intended. He argued that true luxury should invigorate the senses, not pacify them. This was not a philosopher in crisis. It was a guy angry that his fancy hotel felt like a fancy hotel. He demanded the bank restore the points because luxury is subjective, to which the rep replied, "So is disappointment." He hung up saying he would leave a strongly worded Yelp review, which he did. It had 1 star and the magnificent title, "Too Nice." 13. One woman tried to dispute a candy store charge because she claimed the store made the candy too accessible. She argued she only bought $78 worth of gummies because the bins were placed at a tempting angle. The bank clarified that being tempted is not fraud. She countered that psychological manipulation is a crime in some countries. The rep, fighting back laughter, explained again that impulse buying is not grounds for a chargeback. She then insisted the candy store should be held accountable for weaponizing sugar. The bank declined, and she ended the call with the dramatic line, "Fine, but I'm not paying for the sour worms. They betrayed me." Spoiler, she paid for the sour worms. 14. A man once racked up thousands of dollars buying collectibles from an online auction site, then called the bank to dispute them because he believed he had entered a bidding trance. He claimed the website's timers hypnotized him into placing higher and higher bids. When the bank asked if he remembered bidding, he said yes, but described it as out-of-body shopping. The items included 5 vintage action figures, a samurai sword, and a limited edition toaster shaped like a famous sci-fi robot. The bank informed him that trances are not recognized forms of fraud. He insisted they should be. He wrapped up the call by asking if he could at least return the robot toaster. The bank reminded him it wasn't Amazon. The toaster stayed. 15. Finally, we have the guy who treated his credit card like an emotional support system for breakups. After being dumped, he went on a late-night spending spree. Shoes, gadgets, a kayak, and a $500 blender for smoothies he'd never make. The next morning, he called the bank claiming that heartbreak purchases shouldn't count. He said the bank should have detected emotional instability and frozen the card for his own protection. When the rep gently informed him that credit cards are not therapists, he sighed dramatically and said, "Well, they should be." He then asked if the bank could at least categorize the purchases as medical expenses for emotional healing. They could not. He is now the proud owner of a kayak he still can't bring himself to inflate. 16. One guy decided that credit cards were basically coupons for life and used his to buy 40 identical pairs of sunglasses because he liked having backups. Backups for what? A sunglasses apocalypse? A sudden shift in the Earth's rotation requiring mass tinting? No, he just kept losing them and assumed the universe worked on a buy-in-bulk discount program. When the bill arrived looking like the financial equivalent of a migraine, he claimed the merchant must have duplicated the order, because there's simply no version of reality where a grown adult intentionally buys enough sunglasses to supply a mid-tier boy band. The bank reviewed the timestamps, every order placed manually, minutes apart, and asked if he'd been hacked in slow motion. His answer? "I thought it would stop me from losing them." Tragically, it did not. 17. Then we've got the woman who used her credit card to buy an entire home gym, assembled it, took motivational selfies with it, and then tried to dispute the charge because exercise doesn't work on me. She said she was promised results, and since she still felt unmotivated, the equipment failed to perform its intended purpose. When the bank explained that treadmills are not legally obligated to chase you around the house until you develop character, she huffed that companies shouldn't sell false hope. She also admitted she never actually turned the machines on because she needed to ease into the lifestyle. So apparently the gym was supposed to burn calories through passive proximity. Her claim was denied, and the home gym now lives in her guest room as a monument to unrealized ambition. 18. A man bought $600 worth of gourmet cheese on his credit card, then attempted to dispute the charge because the cheese smelled suspicious. The bank asked if he understood how cheese works. He said good cheese should smell like confidence, not feet. He insisted the odor was proof someone tampered with it, possibly as part of a dairy-based conspiracy. When asked why he ate half of it before contacting the bank, he said he needed to investigate its flavor profile. so he consumed the evidence. The dispute team essentially had to tell a grown man that strong cheese is not a biohazard, nor is it an act of culinary aggression. He now claims he's boycotting cheese altogether, which is tragic for him, but a huge relief for cows everywhere. 19. One woman treated her credit card like an emotional support wallet and bought 5 plane tickets in a single night because she wanted to explore her options. The next morning, she disputed all of them, claiming she only booked the trips because she was feeling spontaneous and believed spontaneity should be refundable. She insisted the airline tricked her by offering multiple destinations, calling it psychological entrapment. When the bank asked why she completed checkout 5 separate times, she said she thought it was a personality test. Her argument was that she shouldn't be charged for purchases made during moments of heightened self-discovery. Unfortunately, credit card law does not recognize spiritual impulsiveness. All 5 tickets stayed on the statement, and her only trip was to the land of financial consequences. 20. A man bought an expensive drone with his credit card and decided to test it indoors because the living room had great lighting. Predictably, the drone went rogue, decapitated a houseplant, terrorized his cat, hit the ceiling fan, and knocked over a lamp before crashing into a wall. He immediately called the bank to dispute the charge, claiming the product was dangerously overpowered and had attempted to assert dominance over the household. The bank asked if he had followed the instructions, which clearly say, "Do not fly indoors." He replied, "Instructions are suggestions." Sadly, the drone disagreed. His chargeback was denied, his living room was destroyed, and his cat now sleeps with one eye open. 21. One woman spent thousands on an online personal development seminar that promised to unlock her fullest potential. After completing the course, which consisted of 6 videos and a PDF, she demanded her money back via a dispute because she didn't feel transformed. She said she expected to become a better version of herself, and since she didn't, the company failed. When the bank asked what she expected, she listed everything from improved posture to telepathy. Telepathy. She believed a motivational webinar would activate psychic abilities. The bank gently informed her that self-improvement isn't a guarantee and that superpowers are not a billable service. She ended the call devastated, but at least now she knows her fullest potential definitely doesn't include reading minds. 22. A guy once bought $900 worth of fireworks on his credit card because he wanted to celebrate Thursday. But after igniting them at a backyard gathering and nearly setting his grill on fire, he tried to dispute the charge, claiming the fireworks were unnecessarily explosive. He argued no one warned him they were real fireworks, despite buying them from a store literally named Real Fireworks. The bank asked why he didn't read the packaging. He said he assumed all fireworks were metaphorical. When asked to clarify, he said he thought they would spark joy, not flames. His dispute was rejected, and Thursday remained unimpressed. 23. One woman used her credit card to fund a vision quest that consisted of renting a cabin, buying crystals, and consuming a questionable amount of herbal tea. Days later, she disputed every purchase because she didn't reach enlightenment. She believed the universe owed her a refund for not revealing her true purpose. The bank kindly explained that enlightenment is not a guaranteed deliverable and that customer satisfaction does not apply to spiritual journeys. She insisted the cabin lacked cosmic energy flow. The crystals were hyping themselves, and the tea tasted like regret steeped in hot water. The bank denied the claim. She promised to leave a bad review for the universe. 24. A man bought a $1,500 massage chair, used it for a week, then disputed the charge because it made him too relaxed, causing him to miss a meeting. He argued that excessive comfort should be considered defective performance. The bank pointed out that the chair did exactly what it advertised. He countered that it did it too well, creating a productivity hazard. He suggested massage chairs should come with warning labels like, "May cause bliss so intense you forget capitalism." When the dispute was denied, he dramatically declared he would no longer be seduced by furniture. He kept the chair anyway, obviously. 25. One woman decided to buy a professional karaoke machine with her credit card to explore her musical side. After one night of discovering she cannot, in fact, explore any musical side without violating noise ordinances, She tried to dispute the charge, claiming the machine ruined her self-esteem. She said the microphone was too honest, exposing her true vocal abilities. The bank reminded her that electronics are not responsible for shattered dreams. She said the machine should have provided gentle auto-tuning to protect fragile customers. Sadly for her, the Fair Credit Billing Act does not cover emotional damage caused by hearing yourself sing sober. The machine stayed, her music career did not. 26. A man signed up for an elite wine subscription using his credit card, imagining himself swirling glasses and discussing subtle hints of oak and ambition. After realizing every bottle tasted exactly like grape juice with an attitude, he tried to dispute the charges, claiming false advertising. The bank asked if he consumed the wine. He said he had to drink it to confirm the scam. All 12 bottles. He argued that genuine connoisseurship requires total sacrifice. The bank didn't buy it. In the end, he wasn't a victim of fraud, just a victim of his own inflated palate. 27. One woman bought an $800 smart mirror promising personalized feedback on her daily routine. After a week of hearing things like, drink more water, and you look tired, she disputed the charge because the mirror was too judgmental. She said technology shouldn't critique her lifestyle unless it can also provide emotional support. She wanted encouragement, not hydration reminders. When the bank explained that a mirror is not a therapist, she said the product description implied a level of affection. The bank denied the dispute. She placed the mirror in her closet, presumably so it can reflect on its own behavior. 28. A guy once racked up thousands buying books on productivity, organization, and time management. After reading none of them, he disputed the charges because the books didn't help. The bank asked if he opened any of them. He proudly said no, claiming good productivity advice should leap off the cover. He said the books failed to motivate him telepathically. The rep suggested that reading might help. He said that was an unrealistic expectation in today's busy world. His case was denied, and somewhere those books are still sitting unopened, silently judging him. 29. One woman bought an expensive designer coat with her credit card, wore it to 3 events, posted it on social media, and then disputed the charge because it photographed differently than expected. She said the coat betrayed her by appearing slightly less fabulous under certain lighting. The bank asked if she tried returning it to the store. She said no because she emotionally bonded with it. Yet she simultaneously claimed she shouldn't have to pay for it. The bank denied the dispute on the basis that emotional bonding is not legal tender. The coat remains fabulous. Her logic does not. 30. A man used his credit card to purchase a beginner's survival kit after watching one episode of a wilderness show. After attempting to start a fire in his backyard and nearly burning off his eyebrows, he disputed the charge because the kit didn't make him a survival expert. He claimed the packaging suggested he would unlock primal instincts. Instead, he unlocked a fire extinguisher. The bank reminded him that tools don't replace skill. He insisted they should. His claim was denied, but he now possesses both a survival kit and a renewed appreciation for paved environments. 31. And finally, we reach the man who treated his credit card like a lottery ticket and bought $2,000 worth of scratch-offs, convinced he was investing in future millionaire energy. Shockingly, he did not win. So, he disputed the charge because the tickets failed to produce expected returns. He said the store should refund him because chance-based games are manipulative. The bank explained that gambling is not refundable simply because probability did its job. He demanded the bank intervene on karmic grounds. They did not. His millionaire energy remained theoretical, while his debt remained extremely real. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of financial chaos, proving that the human brain should probably come with a credit limit too. If you've witnessed an even dumber disaster, drop it in the comments so we can all suffer together. Vote for the champion of bad decisions, hit like if your own wallet twitched in pain, and subscribe if you're brave enough for the next round of glorious stupidity.